good morning, bonjour, good day. Welcome to another episode. I had some thoughts, and on this occasion, my thoughts are directly addressed to an individual that I just discovered. So as per usual, another expose. And today, established 1983, calls out John LeBon. Yeah, gotta have a little bit of music, right, John? So we'll start. First things first. Hello, my name is established 1983, changing lives since the summer of '83, and your name is a name that is very dear to me. In fact, spelt your way, as you say. There's a lot of Johns in my life that are very dear to me, and for the most part, most of the Johns I've met, or the ones at least that are dear to me, are honest, upstanding, intelligent individuals with the capacity for creativity and higher thought. So I first discovered you about a week ago. It was all good about a week ago through the Higher Sides Chats podcast. Good to see you back, sir. Glad myself and the 54,000 other subscribers of yours, I'm talking about the Higher Side Chats, can now listen to great guests such as the one you had a week ago, which is where I discovered you. So there was something that really struck me. I like your whole hierarchy of hoaxes, you know, starting at the kiddie level, the teen, and then we get the, I'm not a member of the Higher Sides Chats Plus, so I was not able to continue listening to you, but what I did listen of you on the hour left me intrigued. And it wasn't the first time that I had heard of the war is a hoax. In fact, I even left a comment that it was Dave J that I had first heard this on. And what do you know? Upon perusing your video playlist on your channel, great channel, by the way, I recommend it, John LeBon, I found one where Dave J himself jumped on and chit-chatted. Turns out you guys are buddies, so great. Right away, you get 2 check marks off in my book. Legit, not a shill. Though the idea of the likes of Dave J being a shill have been fluttered about, and I still feel there was always something there, you know? No one died, no one got hurt. I mean, you either got to be really crazy to say something like that, or there must be really something there. So my battery's about to die. I'm going to continue this in a little bit. But John LeBon, I got a question for you, and hopefully you can help me figure this out, because upon listening to you break down the hoax hierarchy and really this idea of how credible is history, I mean, really, you make a very good point, which is why I'm taking the time. So I'll be back in a little bit. Take a look at this image I'm going to select for you to put in there. Probably has nothing to do with the price of tea in China. And before my battery dies and I lose it all, I'm going to stop it here. So see you in a bit. So several hours later, upon further listening, see the smile? Yeah, like you want to hear what I'm listening to still?
The Pentagon idea for the start of a war, quote unquote.
Anyways, so that was Dave J. The dude, before I get into this, just uploaded another video of my evening at the barbershop, and like, this looks weird. This whole, like, shape. So I'm going to give it a couple days before I go out and start macking. By the way, again, sorry to interrupt this message to you, John LeBon, with this. Just throwing some current events in there while we're there. The syphilis has subsided. I got in a lot of trouble on my opinions about what to do upon that new information that I got. And it is kind of related because, again, we're talking about ideas and ways of thinking that are contrary to the way the majority of people think. So I was very intrigued by everything he had to say. And my question to you, John LeBon, is how does one go about examining these ideas? I showed the picture. I decided I was watching another one of your podcasts, and I took a screen capture of your hierarchy there. How does one wrap their mind about starting to even think about these ideas? So one that came to mind is this idea fluttered around that I heard about of that we actually aren't overpopulated, and that there really could really only be like a couple of 100 million, 500 million at most people on Earth, and yet we're told there's 7 billion, and I don't know, 50 years ago we were only 4 billion, and so in the last 50 years we have jumped up by, half of that, So the idea of like, okay, so let's open our minds, as Jordan Maxwell says. Your brain, your mind is like a parachute. It only works when it's open, right? And from listening to you substantially, I have the luxury of having a job where I can just plug stuff in and listen. So I'm not one of those stoners that does bong hits and just watches YouTube video. I actually do something constructive while, listening to your podcast. And yes, it did struck a nerve, the whole weed thing, and you actually made me rethink about everything, like this, even the weed thing. But it's neither here nor there. So the idea of overpopulation is a hoax, and that if people in this realm have accepted, have acknowledged, have concluded that, based on evidence, which is what I really like about you, that the official narrative that we're told is fake. Like it's not what it really is. The world is as it works. We don't understand how it really works. And this podcast that I'm listening to now, where you have Dave J and Velocet from August recently, I guess, there's just like ideas, and I really like the way you think. So the population thing, how would we even know, right? How can they actually, and I've thought about this for myself, like, how do you even know? Is it possible to actually know how many human beings are on this earth? Well, how big is the earth? Well, like what they're telling us, yes, if you accept the heliocentric deception, well then you're just a normie, right? And then you're absolutely right about the whole other side, the whole flat earth thing. It's like, yeah, and I'm going to take a look at your work and see. Now, is it going to change the price of tea in China? What shape the earth is? Or will it just be another thing that you now have to go, okay, well, if even that, like, I want to check out the what is it? The bone the Bonn world map or something you mentioned. So, and so many questions, right? Like, no one died, no one got hurt. That was a big revelation for me 2 years ago when I discussed, when, you know, Dave had his channel and all that tones and sounds and numbers, and that's his thing. But anyways, here I am. And this is my message to you. So thank you for popping into my life, John Laban. It's definitely changed. It's been another evolution, I would say. And so maybe this is also a direction change video at the same time. Not necessarily, but approach change, right? And you're absolutely right. At a certain point, when you come to new information, are you not able to readjust? You know, I've said it before, and I'll leave it with this. One of the things a teacher I respected in college, which is CEGEP in Quebec, Montreal, Canada, that's where I'm residing, he said, you must first unlearn everything you've ever learned in order to learn it again. And so thank you, John Laban, and to all my subscribers and people that are watching this video. Check him out if you never heard of him. I hope you hear this, JLB, and get in touch, or not, but yeah, keep doing what you're doing, and I shall keep listening. And eventually, when I'm done with my renovations and building cactus walls, I might just jump on. This might be the first paid information portal that I might actually contribute, because I think you're doing great work. So keep it up, and from me, everybody else, have a great day, be good, and I'll do a preliminary apology to any aggressive stuff I've said in the past. You know, like, I'm a Gemini, emotions come out, but there's plenty of time to redact those previous statements. So on that note and that tone, thank you for watching, and I shall see you again soon.